Picture a first-person shooter where you're blasting pink goo, sticky notes, and other downright bizarre things. Well, that's Firebreak, but does this wild concept actually make for a fun game, or is it just a weird mess? Let's find out. Hey there, it's Adam from Let's Talk Nerdy, and in this video, I'm going to share my full review of Firebreak, which is the newest FPS coming from the creators of Control. I've put quite a few hours into this game, so I want to give you a full review, which will include the gameplay mechanics, the bad, the good, and in the end, I'll share my final thoughts and put the game into the Nerdometer. So let's jump right into it. Alright, first, let's talk about gameplay mechanics. Firebreak FBC offers a straightforward FPS experience, but throws in some unique twists to keep things interesting. It features 5 distinct jobs, each with its own objectives. Hotfix is a job that you fix broken fans and seal the furnace to manage the heat. Paper Chase, destroy loads and loads of sticky notes and take down a giant sticky note monster. Ground Control, steal the leech orbs from enemy zones. Frequency Shift, shoot pink goo to spin the generators. Freeze Duty, eliminate cold spots by placing heaters. You can customize each job with settings like clearance, which will determine how far you'll go in each run, the threat, which adjusts enemy difficulty and the amount of hordes you'll come across, and corruption, which is special anomalies that you need to eliminate with a unique weapon, and each job can be completed either solo or with 2 other people. Once you load into a job, there'll be different locations to complete different tasks, but there's also locations to gain health by jumping into a shower or using a sink to get some more health that way. And to get ammo, you have to go to the resupply locations or into the safe rooms. Moving on to loadouts, you can choose up to 9 different perks, and you can choose from 4 main weapons: an SMG, double barrel shotgun, revolver, or a bolt action rifle. Plus, there are 3 different kits that you can choose from, and these kits are the Fixed Kit, which repairs broken machinery with a wrench melee, Jump Kit, which fixes electrical issues with an electric jump gun, and the Splash Kit, which puts out fires with a hydro cannon and makes enemies more susceptible to increased damage and removes world effects off of teammates by spraying them with the water. You can also unlock more requisitions by spending your lost intel, and these items include cosmetics, weapons with better stats, and items for your loadout to give some more firepower. Research perks, however, can be unlocked by spending those same lost assets that boost resistance, damage, utility, and overall team support. You level these up by using samples gained from specific jobs. Now that we have the basics of the game, let's dive into the good aspects of Firebreak. First, the atmosphere. The game builds a gritty, tense environment that really pulls you into its dark sci-fi world. The detailed environments add to the sense of unease, and for the fans of Control, there are lots of Easter eggs and hidden references throughout the game. These little nods reward players paying attention, all while getting attacked from hordes of enemies. Once you get into the game, after just a few rounds, you really start to bring up the chaos, which really makes the game even more chaotic and fun, and that's great when you're trying to challenge yourself and your team. All in all, the game's style, challenging modes, and hidden secrets give Firebreak a unique identity, consistent with Control though. With that said, this game is far from perfect and has aspects that are too hard to look past, which brings us to the bad. First, there is no in-game voice chat, and for multiplayer, that is a huge drawback to me, especially for someone that plays games and relies heavily on the quick play to get full lobbies. It would be nice to be able to coordinate with teammates outside of just using the pings. And I know I could just find more friends and use Discord and party chats, but I just don't have that. So please bring in voice chat in the game. Next, the guns and animations did not provide a satisfying feel as you're shooting them as other games do, and didn't feel like they packed much of a punch at all. The SMG felt really light, and the animations of enemies dying were kind of boring. They didn't really have anything fun to look at. They just disappeared. And to go with the guns, the sound design is not very immersive either. The gunfire and effects feel flat, just like the way the animations are, which diminishes the overall experience, I think. Lastly, Firebreak felt repetitive very fast, with its only 5 jobs to complete, especially to grind for the resources and trying to progress your perks and unlock other requisitions. It just felt like there wasn't enough to really keep me invested and excited to play and jump into the same mission over and over. And I understand that there's more things to do with it by increasing the difficulty, the anomalies. It just didn't feel like it was enough for me to enjoy even more. So after spending quite some time with Firebreak, I think it's a game that has potential, especially because of its atmosphere, challenging difficulty modes, and the Easter eggs throughout the whole thing really make it stand out. But I think it's held back by the limited content, uninspired gunplay, and missing features like voice chat. And not to mention, it doesn't have a slide feature. I feel like FPS games should have a slide feature. And now it's time to put Firebreak into the nerdometer. Firebreak is a playable game, and especially if you have Game Pass, give the game a shot, but if you do not, give it some time, let the updates and the patches be put through, and maybe wait for some more content to be released. But overall, it's a game that is playable and you can have some fun for at least a little bit of time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to tippity tap that like button and subscribe for any more nerdy content, which includes our game reviews, podcast episodes, and all of the shorts that we put out. And let me know in the comments your thoughts on the game. Have you played it? And what do you think? I'd love to hear your opinion. Peace out, nerds.